Welcome back to the Coruscant Knights podcast. We're very happy to have you here for another week of brilliant Star Wars content. My name is Cooper. Alongside me, as always, is Marc
Hello there.
and Jack.
This is the way.
Oh my god,
Oh
he's
my
brought it
God,
back.
you've
He said
actually
the
done a
thing.
line,
Oh
Jack.
my goodness. All right,
I
OG.
can't believe
today.
I've been waiting for this for weeks and weeks.
How long has it been? Like, I don't know, months
3
and
months.
months.
Yeah.
Oh well, we're very happy to have it back because we are talking about The Mandalorian today. More specifically, our favorite episodes. We're also going to do a bit of trivia, but because we all love The Mandalorian, we thought, why not bring on a couple of guests? So we've got two very special guests joining us today. First of all, a big welcome for her first time on the podcast, Keita. Thank you for joining us.
Welcome.
Awesome. Just for the people at home, would you mind maybe giving us what your favorite Star Wars movie is, favorite Star Wars character is? Because I know you're pretty new to it.
Yep. So definitely when I was watching, I loved the prequels. So Revenge of the Sith. Yep. Perfect. Loved it. Everything. I love Padme. Love Anakin. I love Obi-Wan. I love it.
Cool. Very good.
All
And-
valid reasons.
Yes, I was gonna say it sounds like Jack's
Influence.
characters in the movie as well. That's
Influence.
good. That's good. And we also welcome back to the podcast. Actually, sorry, it's his first time on the podcast, second time on the channel. We welcome back Ben. Welcome.
Greetings. How's it going?
Now, Ben helped us out on the Great Debate video. So if you haven't watched that, go check it out. We'll put it in a card or in the link in the description below. But yeah, so we've got 5 on the panel today to discuss our favorite Mandalorian episode. And like I said, we'll do a bit of trivia at the end. All right, are you guys ready to get into it?
Yes.
Let's
Go
go.
for it.
Okay, so I drew the short straw, so I'm starting again this week. I feel like this is becoming a bit of a trend. Not that it matters. All right. So first things first, I need to say there are 24. There are 16 really good episodes of The Mandalorian. I'm not including any of season 3, as we've discussed last week. That's just terrible. But some of you who did watch last week knew that I really liked season 2 of The Mandalorian. And there was a reason that it is ranked so high for me as masterpiece. It's because it has my favorite episode in it. And I knew as soon as I saw it, I was so invested in this season. And it is season 2, episode 1, The Marshal. Now, for those who don't remember, this is the episode that we meet Cobb Vanth, Jack's favorite. And it's a quest for the Mandalorian to try and find another of his kind. He goes to, I forgot what the other planet was, but he goes to find information, and then they tell him that the Mandalorian's on Tatooine, and then he goes to Tatooine and finds Cobb Vanth in the armor of Boba Fett. Now, great episode overall. I remember seeing like a 55-minute runtime and thinking, yes, this is exactly what I want from a Star Wars episode. So I was really happy to see that. But I have got a few notes that I want to share with you guys because I know it's kind of consistent across all Mandalorian episodes except for season 3, but I think that it really excels in a few areas. So first things first, let me ask a question. Have any of you guys watched The Marshal recently at all?
Not recently.
Okay.
I think. Oh no, Peter and I, not more recently than the other two, because when we did our rewatch, it was like not too long ago. But
Out of
yeah,
the year, maybe?
yeah, maybe. So like probably
I
Alright.
think I haven't seen it since it came out. So
yeah, couple.
Well, my question was going to be, did you guys notice that there was an aspect ratio change towards the end of the episode?
Was in like IMAX full
Yeah.
wide. Yep.
Yeah. The screen kind of just got rid of the black bars and it
I feel
became
like I
full
might
screen.
remember that happening actually.
I
Yeah.
thought that was a really cool change. I didn't notice it until I watched it the other day. And I guess it's just to make the scale of the Crate Dragon a lot bigger. But I don't know, I really appreciated that bit of filmmaking and editing. Also, I really, really appreciate the music. I know that like the Mandalorian music is pretty good across the board, but one track in particular, it's the arrival of the Tuscans to Mos Pelgo. It's so eerie and like otherworldly that I don't know, it just sounds really cool. So if anyone's listening to this and gonna go watch it, wait until the arrival of the Tuscans because it's a really good track. I also really like that this episode is almost like a classic Western sort of episode. I mean, it's got a lot of tropes of the classic Western films, but I think it really works for Star Wars. I mean, Din Djarin is a bounty hunter, kind of like an outlaw, like we do see in these Western sort of films. You know, it's got face-offs with gunslingers set in a desert sort of environment. I don't know. It really works for Star Wars and it really works for The Mandalorian. I can't go any further without mentioning the action. I really do love the stuff with the crate dragon, but even more so the stuff at the start in the I don't know, I would call it like a fight club, I would
Bar.
say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just with the Gamorrean guards fighting and then Mando getting his whistling birds out and, you know, taking on the opponents, throwing a dagger at the Dathomirian. I really like that stuff. And I'll finish off just quickly by saying that this episode has, in my opinion, one of the best reveals in The Mandalorian, in across the live action shows. I'll even go as far to say the reveal of Boba Fett. First of all, the fake reveal when he walks into the bar with like Cobb Vanth with the armor. I'm like, oh my god, he's here. Nope. But we got him in the end, and that's okay. And that was amazing. And Tamora Morrison has blessed the screen, and he only was there for like 5 seconds, but he's still got a credit at the end in the co-stars. So you know what? It's a good day's work. But look, The Marshal is a great episode. I think it's got everything I love about The Mandalorian. I've watched it so many times, and every time I just think it just gets better and better. I know there's more like other episodes that I think you guys will probably talk about in terms of narrative. They're a lot stronger. This one, not necessarily because it's pretty straightforward. You know, I'll help you if you help me. But I don't know. I really like it. So thank you for listening. And I will pass it on to Ben now to chat about his episode.
All right, well, I guess it's my turn. I think I really wanted to start first with some honorable mentions because for me it was hard to choose an episode, mainly because I usually see the scenes or like milestone moments rather than episodes themselves. But for instance, my background here, when the Mandalorians attacked the Imperial base in season 3, I just thought that scene was really epic. Obviously, I'm not a fan of season 3 the most either because it's pretty mid, but this scene was pretty awesome. I also liked the episode in season 2 when Ahsoka shows up because that was cool. First Ahsoka live action appearance, if I'm not mistaken. But the episode that I chose, which is going to be a curveball, I think, for a lot of people, is from Mandalorian season 2.5, Boba Fett, Chapter 5, Return of the Mandalorian.
What?
That's great.
I chose this episode.
That's completely valid.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is, so that's good enough for me. But I chose it mainly because it has like the most, I guess, the start of like the Darksaber stuff with Din, and I just thought that's really cool. With like the Vizsla, you know, arcing up trying to challenge him for the right of the saber, and actually seeing Din use it. Obviously we saw it a bit in like the end of season 1 and a bit of season 2, but this is when we like really get to see it, the first appearance. So yeah, that's why I chose it. I guess in extent, the next episode has Cad Bane in it, and I just wanted to mention that because I love that episode because it has Cad Bane in it. But it's not really a Mando episode at that point, but honorable mention. Yeah, I don't know if I really have much else to say. Darksaber's cool.
Yeah,
There you
I
go.
like to extend on Ben's comment about Din using the Darksaber. It's actually something that we didn't even really get to see much, like even after onwards on that, because he just like didn't really vibe with it and thought that he was better just using his own stuff. So like seeing him go to town on those people and then takes off the guy's head was pretty pretty cool.
It was very epic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty uncharacteristic of Din to I wouldn't say necessarily struggle with the Darksaber, but it was uncharacteristic of him to Do you remember the scream that he let out when he sliced the guy in half? I thought that was really weird. I don't know if he was struggling with the weight of the Darksaber or if he was like having a, mental crisis because he's
torn
lost
because of
Grogu.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I
Maybe a
just
bit of
thought that
both.
was very weird for someone who's so normally reserved and calm and patient. He just lets out this wail that's just, almost frightening in a sense, desperate. But yeah, I like that episode as well. That's a good episode, Ben.
Thank you.
Indeed. All right, well, I suppose I'll go now then. So my episode is episode 7 of season 2, which is chapter 19, The Believer, which I think hopefully many people will agree is one of the better episodes of the show. Written and directed by Rick Famuyiwa, of course. Cooper looks entirely puzzled, but I can assure him it is called The Believer.
Yeah, it is. It's the second last one of the season, isn't it?
Is it chapter 19?
It is.
Yep. Second last one, isn't it?
Yep. I
Okay.
believe it is, yeah.
All right.
It is.
Okay.
So, I think everyone can agree that Migs Mayfeld by Bill Burr is one of the best parts of this episode. I think it's been credited as, I think he's been credited as one of the better acts in not just, well, in the whole show, but this episode specifically. His acting was on point. The music, again, as Cooper mentioned, as always, is great. But what I love about it in this episode is that it adds tension to throughout the entire episode. There's so many points of tension, like we don't know if, because with Migs Mayfeld and his former Imperial officer, if he's going to recognize him. We don't know if Mando's actually going to take his helmet off, which he's been opposed to throughout the entire show. If the pirates are going to destroy the Rhydonium shipments, because they destroyed all the others. But one of the things I found particularly interesting, actually, is the fact that you actually kind of cheer when the Empire comes in and shoots the pirates, because they're kind of saving the day if you think about the grand scheme of things. And I don't think there's actually been a time before this when you've kind of gone for the Empire, if that makes sense. Like the fact when they just come, they swoop in on the TIE fighters, fire at the pirates, and all the stormtroopers line the bridge and salute them, Mando and Mayfeld as they're driving the thing over the bridge. It's just something that you've never experienced before, and I just love that so much. But that, of course, brings me to the best scene of the entire episode, which is when Mayfeld and his former officer have an exchange over a drink. We all know what happens then. They reveal that Bill Burr's character was part of the Burn and Con operation in Operation Cinder, and that the entire division he was in was lost because of that officer's poor decision making. And the fact that he just kind of shoves it under the rug, like, oh, they're all heroes of the Empire, they died as heroes. And then Bill Burr's like, yeah, but they're just dead. And then, speaking of dead, he kills his officer and begins a huge, awesome fight. One of the better fights, I think, of the show, when they're breaking their way out of the facility. And then there's Cara Dune and Fennec Shan sniping the stormtroopers who are trying to catch up to them, and it really becomes a team effort.
Yep. And that seismic charge.
Yep, that was exactly my next point. That seismic charge. How good was that? We got to see it once again.
Yeah.
One of my all-time favorite weapons in Star Wars. And what I think I'll end my spiel about is the fact that there's a dynamic in this episode between the Rebels and the Empire, with Cara Dune, the former Rebel jump trooper, and of course Mayfeld, the former Imperial sharpshooter. And they butt heads throughout the entire episode. But then at the end, when Mayfeld fires at the Rhydonium and he blows the entire facility up, Cara Dune actually kind of begins to respect him and lets him go free instead of sending him back to prison.
Yep.
But
That's
overall, yeah,
character
that's probably my favorite episode, I'd say, and that's
a
all I have
really
to
good
say,
choice,
man.
Mark. That's a really good choice. Now that I think about it, I probably should have picked something like that as well. I think there's a lot of tension in that one scene that you mentioned as your favorite, and I don't think there's enough of that in
There's
in
the
Mandalorian.
tension. I think the tension in this episode really keeps the audience in.
Yeah.
It kind of makes it even almost thriller aspect to it.
The only thing I remember disliking about that episode is the fact that the pirate attacks just felt very repetitive.
Felt like
Yeah, there was a lot of
After,
waves.
it was like, yeah, it was a lot of waves, and it kind of felt like, oh, come on, hang on, why are we doing this? This is like
Yeah.
20 minutes of the episode. Why are we doing this?
Mm, mm.
Anyway,
Well,
that's
I
just...
think 20 minutes is a bit much, but
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
I
all
see
right.
I see what you're
10,
saying.
10 minutes, 10 minutes, let's say. Yeah. Anyway, no, good episode. Very good episode.
Yep.
All right, Keita.
So I rewatched it a bit last night. My favorite episode was season 1, episode 6, and it's called The Prisoner.
Nice.
I think it goes for 41 minutes, around about that time. Basically in this episode, Mando's doing what he always does, and he's bounty hunting, and he's finding I think the prisoner's Zion, I don't know how to pronounce his name. He's like the purple dude, and he's with a bunch of other people, and they've gone into the ship and trying to find him in the prison. Essentially they all end up turning on him, and instead of him taking the guy, getting his money, he actually has to fight all of them. I like this episode, one, because Mando's actually doing stuff, like he's holding himself up on his own. Grogu's off in the ship, he's not doing anything, he's playing hide and seek, doing whatever he's doing. So that was really good. But we see Mando and how smart he is, and how he tackles them down one by one, and how he does it with the doors and then the red lighting, and how it like flickers, and then he shows up and then he disappears, and it just looks so cool. And I liked seeing Grogu, where at the end you think that he's going to use the Force, and he's like holding his hand up, and you realize that it actually wasn't him, it was Mando coming to save him. But the tension just, it was so nice. And we found a little fun fact for you guys. The ship that was actually used to attack Mando was the same design as General Grievous in episode 3 in Revenge of the Sith.
Oh, okay.
the one on the
My
ship.
favorite and Jack's
That's awesome.
Interesting.
favorite. Yeah.
Fun fact.
I also liked how not only did Mando lock them up, but when he took the prisoner back, he was smart, and he didn't just let him get away. But yeah.
That's
Nice.
very good. I did like
Yeah.
how that episode focused more about Mando kind of having to adapt on the job. And he wasn't really like blinded by it as such, because as you know, obviously by the end he puts the tracker on that ship, and the New Republic blowed him all the away. So it's like, he kind of,
And you see when he's actually fighting them, like he still struggles. Like it's not like he's super powerful. Like it shows it, but he still outsmarts them all.
Hmm.
he ends up getting the better. Yeah.
Was
And
this
what I
the-
love about that episode is that it's kind of got like thriller aspects as well. Like you were
Yeah.
saying with the red lights and how he disappears. Oh,
Yeah.
that was great when I was
like
watching
flickers
that.
and he like comes closer and closer.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
you don't see it until the light comes on.
Mm.
So good.
Yeah.
You'll have to remind me. Was this the episode where Grogu force chokes one of them?
No.
No.
Oh,
Okay. I must be
I
thinking of
don't-
another episode.
I think this is the one where at the start of this one is when Grogu, they just find Grogu in the thing, and they're like, oh, and then they talk about Din being like, oh, is he a Gungan under the helmet? Remember when they all joked about that, and then he's like,
Right.
he's not a pet kind of thing,
Okay.
But
I
yeah,
don't, I don't know what episode I'm thinking of then, because I was
that
pretty
when he-
sure it was that one.
Force chokes Gina Carano's character in a different episode.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Their
Oh,
arm-
that's silly
they
of
don't-
me.
Was this the first episode that Mix Mayfeld appeared in?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
it was, okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was a
He's
that was a
very-
really good episode.
Yeah, a good
Yeah,
action.
that was one of my other top ones as well.
Yeah.
Nice. Very good. All right,
Alrighty.
bring us home, Jack.
Oh, okay. If you guys were that you actually wouldn't know. Anyway, so I talked obviously to the guys about my favorite one. Not about my favorite one, but one that I didn't really like so much back in the day, but now I do. It is actually season 1, episode 4, The Sanctuary.
Oh,
So,
what?
yep.
You
this
hated
is-
that one.
Yes, this is the controversial thing. I would like to give honorable mentions, of course. The honorable mentions have to go for the finale of season 1, where Moff is in the TIE fighter and Din's absolutely ragging on him with he grapple hooks onto the TIE, and takes him down like that, and just hearing Moff Gideon's theme for the first time ever in that season and the episode was just so good. IG's sacrifice, so good. Anyway, I would like, so the reason why I want to talk about this episode is I really, after rewatching it and after looking at the structuring of all Mandalorian seasons, it's very independent. It's not a lot of plot in a lot of these episodes. And when watching season 1, when I watched this episode, I'm like, oh, it's so filler. It's so not plot related. He's just hiding out. But then I realized half of all the episodes and all the shows are just him doing individual stuff, and there's not a lot of plot. Like even with Mark's one, there's good plot development and character development for some of the characters, but that was the second last one for that season. It really didn't like set up much of that epic introduction to Luke at the, in the next episode. So it's like, well, not a lot of it has a lot of plot. It's more about the season long kind of thing. So with that in mind, this episode had the classic, as Cooper likes to say, the Western tropes. It has a cute little lonely farm village, which this is the main reason I love the whole planet. I love the aesthetic. I love the little water pond things with the little huts. It's so cute. And I just love the Clone Wars kind of vibe where the goodies have to train them to defend themselves. Also, we get the introduction to Gina Carano's character, which I thought was a really good introduction, obviously, to the show. However, yep, things happened. But we also get the lovely meme of Grogu sipping on his soup when they're fighting each other, which is just so cute. And the main reason why I love this episode is how scary they make the Walker feel with the red eyes from the tree line, having these pirates have this access to a vehicle. I told Kay to this when we rewatched it and talked about it. It's a vehicle that in the movies is not really that scary in terms of the grand scheme of things, because it's such a smaller, ground transport attack vehicle. But in this situation, when you've got just a bunch of farm people with only like blasters, they have to outsmart it and trying to like, it's such like a horror villain kind of, vibe with him trying to get to him. And just seeing, I keep thinking about this shot, the shot where you have the Walker and the people on that side with the middle bit where they're trying to get him to sink in, and it's a long shot. Wow, beautiful. The cinematography, the music of like the pirates raiding. This is another reason why I love this episode, is the kind of more, because this is season 1. This is where you get more of the, Mandalorian's not just just some faceless character. He was almost tempted to take his helmet off to show that girl. He was gonna almost settle down with that girl, and I just really like that whole kind of aura and that kind of vibe. Where it's like, he's just a regular guy in the end. Like he's doing his job, but he also wants to have a life in the same way. But he knows he can't. Obviously, also because of the time where the bounty hunter tracked Grogu there, and you realize that nowhere he goes is safe. And Grogu playing with the kids, and you see Din you don't see his face, but he's having a drink and food off to the side with his helmet on the table is just, I don't know, just everything. And then Din laying against the hut, just looking like a proud dad figure is just. This whole episode just gave me happy vibes, and I love the scene. I love the cinematography, the music, the training montage, the pirate villains, which I don't usually like, just random villains, but like this one did it for me. So I just think this one needs a lot more recognition, because I think it gets overlooked because of all the other grand scheme episodes with Luke showing up in the end of season 2 and the Jedi episode and the Seeing Stone episode. I think a lot of these overshadow such a more simpler but more focused kind of tone and what they're trying to go with. And that's why I love season 1, obviously, more than 2, because it kept to what it was originally meant to do. A small space Western, protect the child, get him away from the bounty. I think this episode was great. It did it for me. And yeah, I liked it. That's why I wanted to talk about today.
That episode is actually one of the ones that I've always remembered the best from that season. I've always liked that one as well. So I'm not sure why it's stuck in my head so much, but yeah, good choice.
Yeah.
I was, as you could tell by my reaction, I was very surprised. That episode does not seem like a thing that you would be into at all.
That is true. That's what I'm saying. It's just, I think, honestly, after 3 seasons of Mandalorian, the main episodes I actually love nowadays, like even the Sin, the one before it, I just love the ones that are a lot more grounded to Din, grounded to the main focus of why we watch the show. Season 3 ended up becoming this whole Mandalorians kind of thing, which is great. but I don't want it to be in the show. Initially, I just think that there's too many other season 2 cameos, people showing up, even Boba at the end of that, even Cobb Vanth. Like, I just want a more grounded. We had no other special characters in this apart from Gina, and she's not even really a like a legacy character. She was just new to this. So I think I think this is what I'm going with. I think if they do make more Mandalorian seasons, I want a more focused, grounded kind of character study with Din and Grogu, because at the heart of it, that's why we all fell in love with the show initially. So
Yep.
This episode needed more recognition, in my opinion. That's why I wanted to talk about it, and I love it. So, yep.
Very good.
Mm.
Very good discussion, everyone. Got a nice variety of episodes. I think all the ones we discussed were really good. In their own right, and obviously we've spoken about that. I mean, there's some great episodes, like everyone was saying, that we didn't speak about the season 2 finale, season 1 finale. They're great episodes in their own right, but just obviously these are our personal favorites. So yeah, okay. Now, special treat for everyone watching. We're gonna do a bit of Mando trivia.
What am I?
All right,
I'm a kangaroo. Let's go.
we got all 4 competitors. Let's start this trivia, shall we?
Let's go.
I should mention that they're all Mandalorian based, obviously. So if you didn't guess.
Oh, I'm scared. I'm
Yeah.
scared.
All right, question 1. How old is Grogu
Bro.
/ Baby Yoda? Got
I think
4
I know.
answers. Oh, okay.
That's a bit embarrassing.
We've got 3 correct, and based off of the reactions, I feel like we know who got it wrong. That's all
Not
right.
me.
Okay, Mark's currently in the lead. Let's move on to question 2.
Let's go, man.
In season 2, episode 1,
Oh,
the Marshal of Mos Pelgo. What is his name?
well,
Corn on the cob
It just took
Corn on the cob.
reference to one of our earlier episodes.
Yeah. All right, clean slate there.
Very
I feel like that might have been a given. Anyway, everyone's on the board now. Question 3 is: in what episode does the Darksaber first appear? Got 4 episodes here: The Reckoning, The Siege, The Tragedy, or Redemption.
handy.
Let's see who we
I reckon
go.
Mark's too fast.
Oh, okay.
Get it.
So Redemption is the right answer. Right at the end, when Moff Gideon emerges from his
I don't
TIE
think I can
fighter.
catch him.
Right. Mark
What's
is in the
that,
lead.
Jack?
I don't think I can catch him. It's
Oh,
impossible.
I'm sure I'm bound to make a mistake somewhere.
All right, next question. Which of these famous characters did not appear in season 2? Got 4 very legendary characters
I
here.
didn't click it fast enough.
All right. We've got Han Solo did not appear, but we got a great array of characters who did. All right. Still think Mark is topping the charts.
Close.
So close.
Question 5. Who is this New Republic officer featured in season 2?
Oh, my favorite boy. My favorite.
Oh, wow. Everyone got that quickly. Wow. Okay.
He's a great
Carson
guy.
Taver.
He's a lad.
Legacy character.
Mark
No
is
way! I didn't get in.
almost
I got it. I'm rude.
Question 6, I think. Grogu takes on a new name at the end of season 3. What is it?
Okay, I was first. There's no way in
Yeah, I
hell.
reckon Jack got that
I
one
feel
before
like-
me.
I feel like it could be Lil Yoda, you know?
With
I wish.
Mace Grogu.
Oh, what?
Oh,
What?
sorry. Why did I click Lil
What?
Yoda?
Whoa!
Rigged!
Wow.
Rigged.
Rigged!
So you just
Rigged!
gave us the answer, but
I
without
don't know what
actually.
happened.
It's Din Grogu.
I don't know. It is Din Grogu. You guys all
What
should.
You
the
pranked
heck?
us.
Is he a
I'm
rapper
sorry.
now or something?
Oh,
I thought. I don't know why I clicked Lil Yoda. Maybe I did it as a meme.
oh
All
my
right.
God.
It was Din Grogu. That's the
Oh,
right.
that was my one to catch Mark on.
Oh my goodness.
All right.
No.
Scores
I
remain the
was thinking
same.
of choosing Little Yoda for the
I've
lols.
lost my streak.
Same. He's ruined it. He ruined it.
Oh, all right. Question 7. What was the first piece of armor that Din Djarin had replaced with
I know.
Beskar? This one should be pretty easy if you watched season 1.
Oh, maybe I got it
Oh.
wrong.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah,
Interesting. I'm very curious to see who got this right.
I think that was me.
You.
Damn it.
Oh.
Oh
It
no,
was
Mark.
It was
Yeah, no,
his
it is the
shoulder.
right.
Oh,
It's the
yeah, I
right
remember
shoulder guard
now.
because he gets the
The
Mudhorn
symbol.
I
crest
thought it
on
was a
it.
chest piece.
Whistling birds is not really armor, is it? It's just weaponry.
Well, I thought it. I don't know. Well, the thing is, right? He gets the shoulder guard and then he gets the rest of the thing. So it's like,
Mm.
True.
all right. I don't know what question this is. I think it's 8. What droid type is this recognizable bounty hunter?
I should know this.
Got it.
IG, B2, B1, or HK Assassin? Everyone got it
Oh.
right. Congratulations. IG-11.
There's
Alright.
no way now that Jack's gonna not come first.
Question 9. Why is Mandalore initially perceived to be uninhabitable by humans?
Well,
Interesting.
everything almost, isn't it?
Yes, but there is one reason why.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
air quality.
The air quality. That is what is mentioned.
There
as
is
the
everything
reason.
else on there though too. So
Mm, right.
Lost
Move on to
podium.
question 10. Who has directed the most
Ooh.
Mandalorian episodes?
Tough one.
I'm gonna go my homeboy Rick. Oh,
My
That's what I
homeboy.
went with as well.
I don't
It
know,
is Rick.
directors.
It is
no
Rick.
directors.
Rick has done 6 episodes,
Yeah,
which
Rick,
is crazy. All right.
Damn.
Oh,
Rick.
I was there for a
Oh,
bit.
got a battle
man.
down the bottom here. Okay, we got one more question left. This
Let's
is for all the
go.
Come on,
marbles.
Jack, get it wrong.
No, Mark. Unless it's a
How many
Disney-
times has Din Djarin's helmet
Helmet.
been taken off across the 3 seasons? I think this is
Especially
the last one.
I actually don't know.
Ah,
Ooh,
Yes.
No!
Woohoo!
wow. It is
Got it
2.
right.
Was that it, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because droid and he's
No, the correct
is it-
answer is 3.
oh.
Yeah, because
Wait,
that's what
when
I
was the
thought.
third one? When was the third one?
At the end of season 2, and in the Believer episode, and at the end of episode
Oh,
1.
he took it off in front of Grogu when he left. Oh, I forgot.
Okay, who
And don't forget
who
that
got
episode where the flamethrower was in the first season.
who did 3?
Well-
I need to know who did 3.
I said 3.
Okay, all right.
Give me them points.
Yeah.
Well, technically, if it wasn't Mark, I still won anyway. Technically, so
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's not gonna. I'm sorry,
Nah,
guys.
so good.
That's.
I'm
I
not
thought I
even on
had
the
it all
podium.
figured out last night.
in other words, I
and-
don't think. Hear me out, guys. I don't think to the people watching and listening, because technically everyone got the Grogu one wrong because of Cooper's question. However, this one, Ben and Keita both got that point, but I think it wouldn't have really changed the outcome of
it wouldn't
maybe
have.
Yeah.
Ben being on third
I'm
because
still last.
Mark is so ahead of them too. So I think it really wouldn't have changed too much. But
I need to do some more proofreading. Apparently,
Yeah.
That was great. I enjoyed
Nice trivia.
that was a
Having
good
done-
trivia. I mean, besides my fatal flaws, but
Little-
I hope you had a good time regardless. And
Yes.
that brings us to the end of our Mandalorian episode. All right. Just a quick reminder, we're on social media, as you know, all the places, Insta, TikTok, go follow us, behind the scenes, updates on the
YouTube.
show, the usual. Yes. I just need to say that now, the usual.
Oh, I said YouTube.
Oh, YouTube, sorry. Yeah, we're on YouTube. And keep a lookout for our polls as well, because we will be doing them weekly. Big thank you to Ben and Keita again. They are our patrons. We are always very grateful for your guys' support. We do appreciate it. And we hope to have you on again soon.
Yeah, well, thanks for having us.
Yeah.
It was good.
Thanks for
All right.
coming on.
That will do us. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we will catch you next week.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.